And
the
I want to go
police
back to
control
the
every
question.
situation.
Do you believe in letting all the prisoners out as well? People in prison, the blacks in the prisons and the jails. You believe letting them out as well?
Depends on what they're in there for.
But are you in support of that though?
I'm not. I'm in support of abolishing private prisons, which is like basically slavery. It's like private prisons are rented out. They get prisoners, and then like they rent out the prisoners to go work for free or for like $1 an hour to like put out fires and things like that. And then when they get out of prison,
Yeah. In California, there are a lot of firefighters that are inmates. And just recently, the governor of California uh, made it possible for said inmates to be able to become firefighters after they leave uh, leave prison, which previously they were denied said job, which doesn't make any sense because if you learn a skill in prison, you should be able to then leave and be able to uh, get said job using with said skill that would help reduce recidivism rates.
they're not even allowed to become firemen. I think
So
that
are
should be
you in
abolished,
favor of letting prisons out? People, the blacks in prison out.
depending on what they're in there for. So like if like there's a person in prison for life for having a gram of weed, yeah, they shouldn't be out. They
How
shouldn't
about
be
if
in
someone
prison.
raped someone?
They should be in prison. Yes.
How about a murderer?
Yeah.
But
Well, okay, obviously, people that have committed violent offenses, yes, they should be in jail for a set period of time to be able to uh, pay for said crime. Non-violent offenders, people who have used drugs, um, people who are unable to pay various debts, people that are still in jail over bond or whatever, should be released from jail because jail is not necessary for non-violent offenders.
so you just only want the potheads out?
No, anyone that's in prison unjustly shouldn't be in there. And then what I'm saying is I don't think the abolition of it's the abolition of private prisons. So like I don't think it should be acceptable for private prisons to rent out human labor for free.
Why not? If you do the crime, you do the time.
Doing
I
the
remember
time
when I
doesn't.
was growing up.
Wow. Does he either he's just totally doesn't understand uh, slavery and private prisons, or he just doesn't care. But being made to work or required to work as a prisoner and being paid very little money is not a justice system. Uh, Corporations, these prisons should not be allowed to profit off of the labor of said people. Uh, if these inmates are going to be working um, somewhere, they should be paid the same wage as anybody else, minimum wage or whatever um, is proportionate to their skill level, and not $1 or less, because yes, that is in essence slave labor. And just because they are in jail, it doesn't mean that their labor value is diminished in any way.
They had the prisoners on the road, chain gang. They were working the roads,
And
building the highways. And we were like, yes.
you think it's fair for them to work for free?
Yeah, because they're doing the time. You have to pay the. If you do the crime, you have to pay the time.
But there's people.
And tough work in prison makes you not want to go back.
But there's people in
Is that
prison.
true?
There's people in prison for reasons that they don't deserve to be in prison for, and they're doing slave labor.
They wouldn't be in prison then. Do you smoke pot?
That they wouldn't be in prison then? No, that is not true. There are lots of people that have been falsely imprisoned, sometimes for decades. And if you're okay with people being forced to do labor, these innocent people are enslaved and forced to do hard labor for a crime they did not commit. There's like 1.2% to maybe 3% of the jail population that is actually innocent people.
No,
You don't smoke
but it's
pot?
okay. Like if
You
people
don't smoke
do,
pot?
no,
Why not?
because I mean, it doesn't appeal to me.
And why not?
Why do I have to have a reason?
Yeah.
Why?
He just gave a reason. It doesn't appeal to him. That would be like him asking Jesse, "Do you smoke pot?" Jesse saying no, and the guy being like, "Why not?" I bet Jesse thinks he actually smokes pot because he's a black dude.
Why is not that it doesn't appear to you?
I don't know. I mean, it just never has.
You never smoked it?
No, I mean, there's no
Amazing.
reason for it.
So let
But
me
like
ask
I'm
one.
saying, I don't say that it's wrong for people to do it. I mean,
Is
and now it's a
anything wrong? What do you see as wrong?
things morally wrong.
Like what?
Like some of your opinions.
Like what? My opinion?
Yeah, some of them.
Like what?
Some of them are morally wrong. Like
Like
the fact
what?
that you think slave labor is okay as long as
Yeah,
it's in a prison.
absolutely.
You think
Tough
slave
slave.
labor is
When
okay?
I become president, I'm gonna acting tough. They going back on the highway. They gonna build roads. And they
really-
ain't getting paid.
Well, it's a good thing he would never become president. Uh, it's great that the fact that he is like totally okay with slavery is so crazy. But he is a right winger, and a lot of right wingers are totally okay with prison slavery.
They'll get a meal. That's for water.
So you want to restart? You want to bring
And chain
slavery?
gang. Yeah.
Slavery?
Yeah. What chain
You
gang?
believe in slavery?
Well, slavery was a necessary need at the time.
Whoa! It was a necessary need. The No, it was not a need whatsoever. To try to claim it's like some kind of necessary evil in order for the United States to get where it is totally crazy because it justifies the denial of humanity to certain people to try to. It's just that's crazy.
What? You would have been a slave.
I-
You would have been cool with that?
If that was the time. Did you know that it was the blacks in Africa who sold, the higher class blacks sold the poor blacks to the Arabs, and the Arabs was the one that took the blacks around the world and sold them?
And you
Are
think
you aware of that?
Yeah, but also the Europeans enslaved and bought a lot of slaves, even going to the point of threatening African tribes with enslavement or death if they did not capture other Africans to sell to them. I had spoken on a large slave corporation previously in one of my videos. I can't remember it now. It's just I wish I could remember it. But they were stationed in I think Virginia or Maryland and was basically like a multi-billion-dollar slave corporation.
yeah, but you think that
Well,
makes it okay for slavery to exist?
Are those blacks in Africa racist for doing that to the other blacks?
They're morally wrong.
Are they racist?
Racism is a concept created by like Eurocentric beliefs.
What?
I don't think.
What
I
does
think,
that mean?
Did you go to college?
What does that mean?
Eurocentric.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of the concept of centering everything, your understanding of humanity and reality around European beliefs.
Are you saying that, so those blacks who did the same thing and are doing the same thing in Africa are not racist, even though they're doing the same thing as slavery here, you're saying they're not racist for doing it, right? And they
No.
run Africa, but they're not racist.
Okay, I don't think you understand what
Are
the
you
term
saying
racism
they're not
is.
racist? You mean yes or no?
They're
Black is
morally
slow.
incorrect people. They're like
But
people that
so are the white people morally incorrect people here too that did
yes.
that? But not racist.
Racism is a concept constructed by white people. So it doesn't
Oh,
make sense. Like racism isn't a it's a concept that didn't exist until it was created by like Eurocentric beliefs.
who told you that?
Yo, like I'm just not sure. Did you go to like have formal education?
So you learned this in college?
I mean, you learn this from like college and even like world
Did you know
history.
that before you took college?
Did you
Went to
take
college?
world history like in high school?
So you learned it in your world history class?
I mean, you just if you read like books or Google is cool.
And so when you were reading books in your high school in world history, they told you about history and then they said, this is racism? They said that to you?
Well,
The
they
teacher?
teach you.
Well, I mean, if you look back like at Roman slavery, I mean, they would basically enslave any and everybody who wasn't a Roman citizen, and it didn't matter skin tone. If you were a Roman citizen, you were a Roman citizen. It didn't matter your skin tone. Um, you know, you could be a black Roman and, you know, be wealthy or prominent or whatever. Or you could be some white Roman and still have same abilities. Uh, there is the idea of like race and stuff. What has been created more so by European standard, which is why European culture and behaviors and looks and stuff, being white and all that, is considered the standard of the United States and Europe.
They teach you like a light version of it, and then if you're inclined, you do more research on your own and you learn. It doesn't seem like
Amazing.
you
Did
you
your
do
parents
that?
know that they were teaching you that?
Yeah, I mean, my parents did their best to educate me. I think they did well.
Okay.
Did
So let me
your-
ask you, you never did answer this question. We're running out of time.
Mhm.
Now that Black Lives Matter want to defund the police department, more blacks are being robbed, raped, killed, and murdered as a result of that. Does that bother you?
That's not.
I would like for him to bring up how he correlates an increase in crime with defunding of police when it actually hasn't happened anywhere but one city. Um, there is also an increase in crime rates all over the United States, not just within like black communities, because of the pandemic and what's going on with people like losing access to their goods and resources and their homes and stuff, and people are, stressed out and panicked over the current events.
Like, where are you getting
The
these
crime gone up
statistics?
in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles as a result of fewer police, prisoners let out of jail, more blacks are being affected by it. Does
Where
that bother you?
where are there fewer police?
No, answer that question first because of time.
No, but I can't
Are
answer the
you
question
bothered by
'cause
that?
I can't answer the question because there's not fewer police. There's police forces
They're
everywhere.
not hiring as many as they used to now. The mayor of Los
Within the
Angeles cut
past
back on the
few
salary.
weeks.
I mean, on the money. You won't answer that question though. Are you bothered that crime rates are going up and blacks are affected first and foremost? Does that bother you?
That's not true.
I'm asking you, does it bother you? Let's say it is. It is true,
It's
but because
not.
I'm running out of time, I don't have time to play. But does that bother you?
It's not true.
If it was true, would it bother
If
you?
it was true, yeah, but it's not.
Okay. When you find out it's true, will you change it once you find out it was true?
You don't understand what the. I don't know why we're having this conversation because you're not open to like letting me educate you because you don't understand what the abolition of police means. You think it means getting rid of any type of law enforcement, which it doesn't.
Okay.
Like you're just not. You're
Let
not.
me ask you,
Like,
in one of your lines of your rap music, you say, "Look at Karen, man. She want us dead, and use the cops, so she don't have it. So she don't have to do it."
Mhm.
What does Karen mean?
So basically, a form of white supremacy is using your privilege, specifically as a white woman. You can use your privilege to basically hire like an informal hit person to like come, as long as you sound distressed, come and murder a black person, because you know the odds are they're going to take your side over the black person. So like, for example,
Okay, he may go into the event in New York City of the guy at the park with the lady. This is the greatest example. Black guy asks a white woman to leash her dog in an area where dogs are leashed, or supposed to be leashed. So she ends up calling the cops on him, screaming that he's attacking her when he wasn't, and being all hysterical, saying it's a black guy. And she's doing this because and previously, before calling the cops, she said she would call the cops and say that a black guy is attacking me before going in with her fake hysterics with the dispatcher. She knew that she could weaponize his blackness against him, because she knew that, yes, if she was a white woman in distress, this could potentially get the cops to want to kill the guy. Lucky enough for us and him, it was the cops did not kill him.
but you've seen like the videos of like a black person minding their business or something, and then like a woman comes up and says, "Hey, you're not supposed to be here," and he says, "No, actually I live here," and they say, "No, you don't, like I feel threatened," and then they call the police and say, "This person has a gun," even though he doesn't have a gun and he does live there. But when the police come, who are they going to believe? The person that was like crying on the phone, or the black person that you said that most black people are like violent and aggressive? So when the person calls, knowing like everyone has this racist idea that black people are violent and aggressive, when the police come, they're gonna be like, "Do you have a gun?" He's gonna say no. He's gonna try to like show that he doesn't have a gun, and then he's gonna get shot. And then the woman that wanted the person dead, even though she knows that he wasn't doing anything wrong, she gets what she wants. I'm 20. I said that already.
What did you tell me? I forgot.
In the beginning, 22.
22.
Emmett Till is another great example of the racist Karen mentality. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old who was accused of sexual harassment by a white lady and subsequently lynched by the state. He is one of the youngest people to be sentenced to death by the state. And in the end, the lady who accused him recanted her story and said that she lied. So she ended up getting an innocent young boy murdered by the state. Same with the Black Wall Street race riot. It was another case of a Karen accusing a black guy of sexually harassing her, when in fact it's not what happened. And this ended up with hundreds of people dead or injured, with the involvement of the state bombing the neighborhood. If you look up Black Wall Street, you can learn about this.
It's the word Karen. Is that a slur against white women?
No, it's a name.
It's the same as the N-word? Does it have the same meaning though?
Wow, is it the same as the N-word? No, it is not the same whatsoever.
That an N-word would have if someone call you that?
No.
So Karen is not a slang?
Karen is a common name that white women are given.
Oh, but it's not a slur.
No.
So a lot of white women are named Karen?
Yeah.
Amazing. So,
I mean,
A lot of white people are named Karen. Amazing. Does he not realize that there are a lot of people with the same first name?
a professor named Karen. I know
what?
several Karens, yeah.
Do you believe in your song? You said white women want black men dead. Is that true?
The ones that call and say that a black man is holding a gun and they feel threatened even though the person doesn't have a gun and they know the police will come, assume the person has a gun, and potentially kill that person, yes,
You also say "f the police" in that song. You believe that?
yes. Yeah.
There's a reason why people say a cab and not, um, all firefighters are bastards. What? AFAB? Yeah, nobody says AFAB because firefighters don't go around committing arson or beating down people or stealing from uh, people's properties. And whenever there are incidents of occasionally a firefighter committing arson in order to put out fires, those people are arrested and jailed and not protected.
And what made you say "f the police"?
I mean, we just had a whole conversation
Oh,
about
so
it.
you just say they're against the blacks?
Sure.
Do you want
I think
cops?
did you know where the police started? Like what police originated from?
What?
Well, he wants to use this police shooting as some kind of what a way to pull on people's heartstring and make it seem like we need to keep the police funded, or that crime is so rampant that police are being attacked now.
Slave patrol. Did you know that?
No.
You didn't know that?
Who told you that? They told you that in school?
No, no, no. it's common history.
Oh, okay.
American history, yeah.
Do you
I think
want?
Yes, it is history that cops started as slave patrollers. Slave patrollers were wealthy white people or people hired by wealthy white people in order to beat down slaves that weren't showing obedience or recapture slaves that had escaped. And after it started in one colony and then spread throughout all 13 colonies. And then after the decline of slavery and the abolishment, they pretty much turned into cops.
you should like look
Do you
into that.
want? Do you want?
Have you learned about that?
Do you want responding to 911 to stop?
Depends. I already answered that.
Do you want them to stop though?
Calling 911.
Yeah.
I think 911 should be for specific situations, and they should be allocated to different. For depending on the situation, it should be allocated to different resources. I already answered that. But
So
what
let
I
me
was
ask,
saying is
do
that
you appreciate the risk that police officers take?
sure.
Mm, uh, being a cop is like one of the least dangerous jobs, actually. Being a lumberjack is actually considerably more dangerous than being a cop. I bet even being a one of those fishermen off of those fish shows where those people are on the ships capturing fish and lobster in the storms and stuff would be a lot more dangerous than being a cop. I bet even being a firefighter is a lot more dangerous than being a cop.
Do Blue Lives Matter?
Blue Lives Matter is an oppressive opposition of Black Lives Matter. It's like all lives matter. You think all lives matter, right?
Yes.
But you don't think Black Lives Matter?
That doesn't include all lives.
It does. So if I say Black Lives Matter, you agree with me?
Personally, I think that it's just
You
a
ag-
saying that has no meaning.
It's a saying that has no meaning. Then white saying blue lives matter and white lives matter is are sayings that don't have any meaning, which actually they don't have any meaning whatsoever. Because if these people actually believe all lives matter and not just white lives, they would also believe that Black lives matter, immigrant lives matter, Latino lives matter, everybody lives would actually matter. But when you talk to them about the concentration camps and the immigration and stuff, they're all in favor of that, as you know, they're all basically in favor of killing those people. So they truly don't believe that. And this idea of blue lives, um, to equate a job with a life is pretty dishonest and disgusting, because people are not born cops. These people are not born with a uniform on, um, born to fight injustice or whatever. Unlike black people and other POCs that are born with their skin tone.
So if
Because black lives don't really matter, and you can see it in the way black people treat one another and others.
is this how it always goes?
So let me
Yes, this is how it always goes. You just gotta watch his shows.
ask,
No, but so you do think Black Lives Matter? If you think all lives matter,
all
right?
lives matter, yeah.
So you agree Black Lives Matter?
All lives.
All lives. So
Yeah.
so you agree? So Black lives are a life, right?
What?
Black lives, that's a life. So
I
if,
think that black lives only matters when it matters to the parents and to the children of the parents. If it don't matter to them, then it doesn't matter.
so if my
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That would mean the life of an orphan doesn't matter because they have no parents to care about them. And anybody who, well, no matter what age you are, if your parents die, you're technically considered an orphan. So, if you have no parents or your parents teach you, then that would mean your life wouldn't matter, which makes no sense whatsoever if you believe all lives mattered.
parents didn't care about me, then you don't care
would,
about me?
You would not have mattered.
I mean,
but
I
I would
mattered to
care
me.
about you enough to tell you the truth to get you back on course.
To tell me that I don't matter? That'll
I
get me
wouldn't
on
tell
course?
you that. I wouldn't tell you that it's a white man's fault. Do you love white people?
White people. I love all people as long as they love. They
How about white
put love
people?
in, yeah,
You love white people?
I love white people that are good people. I don't like specifically hate any type of person as long as they're good people and care about others. Like for example, I just want to get back to like that you're not able to say that Black Lives Matter. Like I just want you to say it because if
Say
you
what?
think all lives matter, you said that.
It only matters to the parents and the children. To anybody else, it doesn't matter.
So you don't think all lives matter.
I do think, but not.
You do
I mean,
think
it's
all
up to
lives
the
matter.
person. I'm not concerned. It's not going to affect me if someone else decides that they don't want to take care of themselves.
No, but I'm saying you think all lives matter,
Yes.
and a black life is included in all those lives. So you think Black Lives Matter.
I don't need to say Black Lives Matter. When I say all, I mean all.
So you're including black people.
But I know that black lives doesn't matter to black people.
So you're including black people when you say,
Oh, this is supposed to be sad. Oh, Elvis Presley, Graceland, mansion defaced with BLM slogans and eat the rich. Oh, that's so sad. They could easily just power wash that off. It's not like somebody's life was taken that can't be replaced. It's you still wanna push this idea that property is supposed to be somehow more important than the life of other people, or the fact that we live in an unjust society. Property means nothing when your society is corrupt.
all lives matter?
Yes.
So that means when I say Black
Listen
Lives
to this.
Matter, you agree. Because you think
All
all lives
lives
matter.
matter. But let
So
me
that's
ask you this.
including black people.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, they're power washing it off, and it's, oh, as good as new. It's a shame you can't power wash a dead person and they're back to life.
Do you think
I
white
don't think
lives
you
matter?
understand what you're saying.
Do you think white lives matter?
Sure.
You sure?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. White lives matter.
So let me ask you this. I got to ask that you never answered. You would follow a woman, right?
Yeah. If they have something worth.
Oh, I bet I know why Jesse abandoned his kid. The lady was like, "Hey, you gotta help me take care of my kid," and he was like, "I don't have to listen to a woman," and leaves.
that I think is worth following, then yes, I will
Okay.
follow a woman.
Should women lead men?
I answered this like
You
three
believe
times.
women should lead men? I
If they
believe
have
this is some with
something,
this.
if they have something worth leading and worth following, then yes.
The idea of listening to women is so foreign and strange and radical to Jesse Lee Peterson, yeah, that he has to ask it a third time. Like, damn, dude, how can you be so stupid?
Yes.
Were women created to lead or to follow?
Women.
Wow, were women created to lead or follow? Neither, because none of us were created to do anything but basically procreate and enjoy each other's company.
Women weren't created to do either. People are people. So like if you have something worth listening to, which I don't think you really do, then I would follow you. But since you don't, then I won't follow you. But if a woman has something more worth believing and following, then I'll follow them. And I know plenty of women who do. And then if there's a man who has something worth following, then I'll follow that man as well.
Really?
And if I have something worth following and somebody
Do you
wants
plan to get married one day?
sure.
Would you follow your wife?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'd have a mutual connection.
I want to ask you about this Chinese virus thing. I noticed
Yo, did you call it a Chinese virus?
that. Right.
It's not a Chinese virus.
It's from China.
It's coronavirus.
No, it's from China. It's a Chinese virus.
It's a coronavirus. Okay, whatever.
I mean, yeah, people on the right have a hard time understanding that just because a virus started in a certain location does not mean that virus is of that ethnic origin. It's just a virus. Nothing more, nothing less. It would be like if some pandemic started in the United States. It wouldn't be called the American virus because that would be stupid.
Continue.
Do you think it's fair that innocent citizens are made to wear masks while the radical protesters are going out without masks?
They do
Dancing
wear
in the
masks.
street? Huh?
They do wear masks.
No, they don't. I've
They
seen
do.
them with no mask
Have
on.
you gone to protests?
I've seen them.
Of all the tons of videos that I've watched, majority of the protesters are wearing masks, which is why there haven't been any kind of large outbreak of coronavirus amongst the protesting. Unlike various events that Trump has held, even one where Herman McCain got the coronavirus and died from it, and a lot of these other areas where people are indoors, not wearing any masks, that makes it easier to transmit and spread the virus to other people.
I haven't done that, but I've
So
seen
I
them.
actually organized one, and I wore a mask, and
But
so did
is
everyone
that
else.
fair, though? Real fast.
Mhm.
Did you know that Black Lives Matter is an organization that was founded by some fat, black, radical lesbians who hate God, who hate the nuclear family, who hate unborn children, who want a socialist society? Did you know they were founded by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians?
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. That's great.
Right, I know, he acts like it's supposed to be something evil, but it's like, I mean, the way you describe it is not actually horrible. What? Let's go back.
black, radical lesbians who hate God, who hate the nuclear family, who hate unborn children, who want a socialist society. Did you
Okay. He's being Jesse Lee Peterson and lying about everything. Yeah. Let's talk about what? Abortion? No, they're just for bodily autonomy. For oh, why am I so forgetful at the moment?
about some fat, black, radical lesbians who hate God, who hate the nuclear family, who hate unborn children?
Ah, okay. The normal three talking points: God, family, children. Fuck God. Nothing wrong with different types of family, because who really cares about if a person is your blood or not? Family is whoever you want it to be. But there's also so many different types of families. You got um, single parent and the kids. You got uh, both parents, kids, grandparents. You got parents, uh, and you know what, other relatives, uncles or brothers, or you just got you know friends that consider themselves family living together. You got uh, just plain two people that are married, no kids, living together. So it's all family. It's just this weird, creepy obsession over a man, a woman, and a boy and a girl.
Who want a socialist society? Did you know they were founded by a bunch of fat, black, radical lesbians?
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. That's great.
You knew that?
Dude, I'm like all in. I think that's incredible.
Wow. Do your father know you think that way?
Yeah,
Does he know that?
sure.
And he okay with that?
Yeah, you don't like lesbians? You don't like, do you like black
Do you
people?
agree with homosexuality?
Sure,
Is that normal?
sure.
Yeah, it's totally normal. You can even find it in so many other animal species of homosexuality and bisexuality. Dolphins, lions, uh, bulls, otters, various ducks, and other birds. The only abnormal thing found in in an animal is this hatred of homosexuality.
You support abortion?
I mean, I support a woman's right to do what they want with their body.
If you got a woman pregnant, you would be okay with her killing your child?
If it was it's her decision. Like,
You
it's
would
in
be
her
okay
body.
with it?
Yeah, it's her decision. It's
I
in her
need
body.
you. I gotta put you on the hot seat because we're out of time, and I need you to answer these questions as
Yeah.
quickly as possible. All right? Okay.
The hot seat.
Will you celebrate Men's History Month with me? August is Men's History Month. Will you celebrate that?
No.
Fucking stupid Men's History Month.
Will you celebrate White History Month? July is White History Month.
No.
Fucking stupid as well. Basically, every month is White History Month besides February.
Do the lives of unborn black babies matter?
Yes.
In your opinion, are most
I mean, that's not even something Jesse Lee Peterson believes that the lives of unborn children, well, especially black children, actually matter. He's probably one of those types of people that would be fine with black people being killed off. I mean, he's totally okay with them being slaves.
rappers beta males or alpha males?
What does that even?
Yeah, well, are rappers beta males or alpha males? That makes no sense whatsoever. A true alpha male, if you want to have this dumb idea of an alpha male, would be somebody that would treat others with respect, help others when they could, not beat women or see them as slaves or objects and look to subjugate them. Somebody that would actually seek to uplift others around them.
What do you mean?
You don't know what a beta male is?
You're saying like are most rappers dominant or not dominant?
In your opinion, are most rappers beta males or alpha males?
That question doesn't make sense, so I'm just gonna skip.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to him because Jesse Lee Peterson is not explaining what he means by beta and alpha male, which are just two pointless phrases.
You believe black trans matter, right?
Yes.
Do straight white Christian male lives matter?
No.
No? Are you
The fact is, we straight white Christian males aren't being systematically oppressed by society or disproportionately killed by the cops or sent to jail. It would be different, like, in the past, the Mormons were a group of people that were ostracized and oppressed. Not sure if any of them were murdered or anything. You could say, yeah, there was some religious oppression going on there. But in today's world, what's going on now, being a straight white Christian male gives you some of the most privilege.
okay with transgender dominating women's sports?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
If black people are offended by the N word, why do they say it all the time?
Because they have a right.
What?
Because they have a right to.
Do you support?
It also, I mean, if somebody uses it in an offensive manner, there's a reason why they're using that word. You can tell when someone's trying to be offensive with it, especially when they're using it out of anger, which is different than the way most black people do it. But if they're doing it out of anger and stuff as well, it is pretty much no different and pretty offensive.
The right to bear arms?
Sure.
Uh,
If it's
is, it,
necessary.
is it racist for white people to celebrate their heritage?
No.
Though what heritage, what is white people heritage? I mean, there's like Irish heritage and stuff like that. White people aren't a conglomeration of like one culture. There's lots of different cultures going on, just like with black people and various different cultures that go on there. Like, if I wanted to go back to my ancestral cultural and heritage and stuff, I am half Haitian, so I would be looking at the Haitian culture and stuff if I want to go back there, along with the American culture, since the American culture is what I've truly been raised up in. Um, so it's there isn't all these people aren't just one giant conglomeration of people that think one way. Though you do have large groups of people that will think certain ways.
Is it good that black people are always late?
You think black people?
What the fuck? That's a dumbass fucking question, and that makes no sense whatsoever. You think it's good that black people are always late? Like that's just a stereotype that isn't even true whatsoever.
Always late?
Is it good that black people are always late?
Are they?
Is
I
it,
showed up on time. Actually, I showed up early. I'm
because
black.
you have white in you.
Because you have white in you, you're able to show up on time. I guess that's why I like being early at the places, because I'm part white, so I like being on time. No, that is dumb, because I have a white family member who is notoriously late for a lot of things. 5 minutes to somebody like me is a half hour to somebody like them. So you can't claim that white people are never late.
Your white side.
Yo, I'm black as the back of the moon. Are you gonna fist pound me for that?
Is
Anyway,
it?
I showed up on time and I'm black, so I think that question is
But you're
wrong.
part
But
white. Your
we can
white side
continue.
showed up.
My white
It-
side decided to show up.
Is it possible to have perfect peace?
Do you have white in you?
No. Oh yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
All
Is
right.
it possible
Because you were
to
kind of
have?
late.
Is it possible to
I
have?
was in the
Oh, yeah, he has a little bit of white. I guess that he doesn't have enough white in him to have him come on time to his own show.
waiting room at the time when we were supposed to start.
Right.
So the white in you just didn't really
That
work
my
out.
black side.
hmm
Is it
But
possible
my
to
black
have
side-
perfect peace?
Perfect peace. I think peace is a balance. So without disruption, then you can't understand what peace is.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Thank you for coming, man. Thanks for taking the hot seat.
I definitely have fun listening to how fucking moronic this child man is, or this man child. Oh, he's Jesse Lee Peterson is definitely has a child's mentality. He just cannot understand the world whatsoever.